Hey guys, welcome to Pixzilla. In this episode of Photography Lessons for Beginners, we're going to look at what each focal length of lens looks like. And let's do it by a photo challenge. Let's start with a slideshow of images, and you can go ahead and try to guess what focal length the photo was taken at. And if you're really good, try to guess the aperture setting as well. I bet you can't get all of these, but give it a shot and see how well you do. I'll show you the images the second time with the settings and see how many you got right. If you guessed the 85mm 1.2, you were right. This is one of my favorite lenses for shooting portraits, especially portraits even of like the full body. The background and the foreground, as you can see, just kind of blurs away. If you guessed the 85mm 1.2 for this one, you were also very correct. The bokeh is actually even more exaggerated, which is something that happens when you move closer to your subject. If you guessed the 135mm f2, you were very correct. It was shot much further back, and that's the kind of the benefit of shooting further back with a telephoto lens, is that you still get crazy amazing compression and the bokeh is fantastic. And if you guessed the 135 f2, you were very correct. So telephoto lenses can do excellent portraits of people. You can really focus on your subject and isolate them from the background. If you guessed the 14mm f2.8, you were correct, and this one was shot, I think, at f16. If you guessed the 14mm f2.8, you were correct. Here's something you can notice with the 14mm wide-angle lenses, is that you have all this distortion. Like, you can see her fingers are really stretched out by the margins of the image, and that can be something that you can really augment if you're going for that distortion and you're going for that like crazy weird factor, which is what we were going for here when we were doing this reception dance shot. If you guessed was shot with the 24mm f1.4, and if you guessed that, you would be right. So this is kind of an example of how shooting with a wide angle lens can give you a very different perspective. There's a little bit more of the environment to take into account here, and if you can do it properly for a portrait, a wide angle lens can do amazing things for portraits as well. And if you guessed the 50mm 1.2, you were right. I love using this lens for weddings. It's probably one of my go-to wedding lenses. And if there is any lens that I would recommend that people starting out in wedding photography or photography in general pick up, it's definitely the 50mm focal length. So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to our channel. That means a lot to us. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.